Dear students, I am very happy to see you in this video lecture on the course code U18 PCIT 602, course name Human Computer Interaction, and I am D. Rukmani, Assistant Professor in the Department of Information Technology, working in Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research, going to deliver you the video lecture on the topic Web Interface Design. So first we are going to see about the web interface design overlays. So overlays are really just the lightweight pop-ups. We use the term lightweight to make a real distinction between it and the normal idea of a browser pop-ups. So here, the browser pop-ups are created as a new browser window. The lightweight overlays are shown within the browser page as an overlay. Here, the older style browser pop-ups are undesirable because the browser pop-ups display a new browser window. As a result, these windows often take time and a sizable chunk of system resources to create. The browser pop-ups often display the browser interface controls. Example, a URL bar. Due to the security concerns, in Internet Explorer 7, the URL bar is a permanent fixture on any browser pop-up windows. By using either the Flash or an Ajax style techniques, that is a dynamic HTML, a web application can present a pop-up in a lightweight overlay within the page itself. This has a distinct advantages. The lightweight overlays are just a lightweight in-page objects. They are inexpensive to create and fast to display. The interface for the lightweight overlays is controlled by the web application and not the browser. There is a complete control over the visual style for the overlay. This allows the overlay to be more visually integrated into the application's interface. Next, we are going to see about the dialog overlay under the overlays. The dialog overlay replaces the old style browser pop-ups. The Netflix will provide a clear example of a very simple dialog overlay. In the previously viewed movies for sale section, a user can click on a buy button to purchase a DVD. Since the customer purchasing the DVD is a member of Netflix, all the pertinent shipping and the purchasing informations is already on record. The complete checkout experience can be provided in a single overlay. Consideration for a dialog overlay. Because the overlay is a lightweight pop-up, the confirmation can be displayed more rapidly and the application has a complete control over its look and the placements. Light box effect. So one technique employed here is the use of light box effect. In photography, a light box will provide a backlit area to view these lights. On the web, this technique has come to mean bringing something into the view by making it brighter than the background. In practice, this is done by dimming down the background. The lightbox effect is useful when the dialog overlay contains important information that the user should not ignore. Both the Netflix purchase dialog and the Flickr rotate dialogs are good candidates for the lightbox effect. If the overlay contains optimal information, then the lightbox effect is overkill and should not be used. Modality. The overlays can be modal or non-modal. A modal overlay requires the user to interact with it before she can return to the application. The lightbox effect emphasizes that we are in a separate mode. As a consequence, it is not needed for most non-model overlays. Since the overlay is really more like an in-page widget, it would not be appropriate to make the chooser feel heavier by using a lightbox effect. Staying in the flow. Overlays are a good way to avoid sending a user to a new page. This allows the user to stay within the context of the original page. However, since overlays are quick to display and inexpensive to produce, sometimes they can be tempting to use too freely and in the process may actually break the user's flow. Delay detail overlay. The detail overlay allows an overlay to present the additional information when the user clicks or hovers over a link or section of content. The toolkits now make it easier to create the overlays across different browsers and to request the additional information from the server without refreshing the page. Activation. The overlay is displayed when the mouse hovers over a box shot. There is about a half second delay after the user passes over a movie. The delay on activation will prevent the users from accidentally activating the overlay as they move the cursors around the screen. Once the user moves the cursor outside the box shot, the overlay is removed immediately. So removing it quickly gives the user a fast way to dismiss it without having to look for a closed box. Mouse traps. It is important to avoid activating the detail overlay too easily. We have seen usability studies that remove the delay in activation and the users reported that the interface was too noisy and felt like a trap. We label this anti-pattern the mouse trap. The reasoning for this is not clear, but the Amazon uses the mousetrap anti-pattern as one of its associate widgets. Original motion picture soundtrack will activate an overlay providing the information on the soundtrack under purchase option. Input overlays. Input overlay is a lightweight overlay that brings the additional input information for each field tabbed into. American Express uses this technique in its registration for premium cards such as its gold card. Consideration for input overlay. So there are few things to keep in mind when using the input delay. Clear focus. The overlay contains an additional input help information. This allows the normal display of the form to be displayed in a visually simple manner. That is, just prompt and inputs. The overlay creates focus on the given input field. Instead of seeing an ocean of the inputs, the user is focused on just entering one field. So this is a consideration for the input overlay. So far we have seen about the overlays. The overlay means just a lightweight pop-ups. So here we use the term lightweight to make a clear distinction between it and the normal idea of a browser pop-ups. Next, we have seen the distinct advantages. That the lightweight overlays are just a lightweight in-page objects. Next, the dialog overlay, which replaces the old style browser pop-ups. Next, the lightbox effect. The one technique employed here is the use of lightbox effect, which is a photography. A lightbox provides a backlit area to view the slides. Next, the modality. The overlays can be a modal or non-modal. Staying in the flow. The overlays are a good way to avoid sending a user to a new page. Detail overlay. So it allows an overlay to present the additional information when the user clicks over a link or a section of content. Activation. The overlay is displayed when the mouse hovers over a box shot. There is about a half second. Mouse traps. It is important to avoid activating the detail overlay too easily. We have seen the usability studies that will remove the delay in activation, and users reported that the interface was too noisy and felt like a trap. Input overlay. So it is also a lightweight overlay that brings the additional input information for each field tapped into. So American Express uses this technique in its registration for premium cards such as its gold card. Consideration. The overlay contains an additional input help information, which allows the normal display of the form to be displayed in a visually simple manner. The overlay creates the focus on a given input field. Instead of seeing an ocean of inputs, the user is focused on just entering one field. Display versus editing. When the input overlay is shown, the prompt is displayed in exactly the same manner as when the overlay does not show. This is critical as it makes the overlay feel even more lightweight. If the overlay prompt were bold, for example, the change would be slightly distracting and take the focus away from the input. The only difference between the non-overlay field and the overlay version is a slightly thicker input field border. This draws the eye to the task at hand input. That is field traversal, tab navigation, one-click deactivation. So the display versus editing, the only difference between the non-overlay field and the overlay field is slightly thicker input field border. So this will draw the eye to the task at hand input. The types are field traversal, tab navigation, one-click deactivation. Next, inlays. Information or a dialogue with the user needs to be an overlay. Another approach is to inlay the information directly within the page itself. To distinguish from the pop-up overlay, we call these in-page panels inlays. First is the dialogue inlay, a simple technique which is used to expand a part of the page. Here we will be relieving a dialogue area within the page. The BBC recently began experimenting with using a dialogue inlay as a way to reveal the customization controls for its home page. So for dialogue inlay, it expands a part of a page, revealing a dialogue area within the page. BBC recently began experimenting with using a dialogue inlay as a way to reveal the customization controls for its home page. Considerations. Of course, an overlay could have been used instead. However, the problem with the overlays is that no matter where they get placed, they will end up hiding informations. Inlays get around this problem by inserting themselves directly into the context of the page. In context, this dialogue inlay is similar to a drawer opening with a tray of tools. Instead of being taken to a separate page to customize the home page appearance, the user can make the changes and view the effects directly. The advantage is the ability to tweak the page while viewing the actual page. List inlay. Lists are a great place to use inlays. Instead of requiring the user to navigate to a new page for an item's detail or popping up the information in an overlay, The information can be shown with the list inlay in context. The list inlay works as an effective way to hide the detail until needed, while at the same time preserving space on the page for high-level overview information. Google Reader provides an expanded view and a list view for unread blog articles. In the list view, an individual article can be expanded in a place as a list inlay. Detail inlay. A common idiom is to provide the additional detail about the item shown on the page. We saw this with an example of the Netflix movie Detail pop-up in hovering over a movie, which revealed a detailed overlay calling out the back of the box information. Here, the details can be shown inline as well. Roast always house photos to be viewed in context for a real estate listing with the detail inlay. Combining inlays and overlays. Roost's solution was to combine several patterns. First, it uses the hover reveal, a context textual pattern, to reveal a set of tools when the user hovers over a listing. Second, it uses the detail inlay pattern to show a carousel of photos when the user clicks on the view photos link. And finally, it uses a detail overlay to blow up a thumbnail when clicked on. Virtual pages. The patterns that support the virtual pages include virtual scrolling, inline paging, scrolled paging, panning, zoomable user interface. The first is the virtual scrolling, inline paging, scrolled paging, panning, and last is the zoomable user interface. The first one under the virtual pages is the virtual scrolling. The traditional web is defined by the page. In practically every implementation of websites for about the first 10 years of the web's existence, pagination was the key way to get to additional content. Of course, websites could preload the data and it will allow the user to scroll through it. However, this process leads to the long delays in loading the page. So, most sites keep it simple. We will be going and fetching the 10 items and we'll be displaying them as a page and let the user request the next page of content. So each field resulted in a page refresh. The classic example of this is Google search. Each page shows 10 results. Moving through the content which uses the now famous Google pagination control. So another approach is to remove the artificial page boundaries created by paginating the data with the virtual scrolling. Next is the loading status. There are few downsides to the Yahoo, the main version of virtual scrolling. First, if the loading is slow, it spoils the illusion that the data is continuous. Second, since the scroll bar does not give any indication of whether the users are located in the data, they have to guess how far down to scroll. A remedy would be to apply a consistently updating status while the user is scrolling. Next is the progressive loading. The Microsoft has applied the virtual scrolling to its image search. However, it's implemented in a different manner than the Yahoo made. Instead of all the content being virtually loaded, the another scroll bar reflecting this, that is a scroll bar reflects what has been loaded. Inline paging. Switching the content in and leaving the rest of the page stable, we can create an inline paging experience. In-page update. Keeping the content stable will create a better flow experience. With inline paging, it feels like the user never leaves the page, even though The new virtual pages of the results are being brought into view. Natural chunking. Inline paging can also be useful when reading news content online. The International Herald Tribune applied this as a way to page through an article while keeping the surrounding context visible at all the times. Back button. The biggest issue with inline paging is whether the back button works correctly. One criticism of endless.com is that if the user pages through search results and then hits the back button, it jumps to the back just before the search. This unexpected result could be fixed by making the back button respect the virtual pages as well. This is the way Gmail handles the back button. Just by clicking the back you through the virtual pages. Interactive content loading. The iPhone employs inline paging when displaying the search result in the iTunes Store. Scrolled paging, that's a carousel. The carousel pattern takes this approach. The carousel provides a way to paging more data by scrolling it into view. On one hand, it is a variation on the virtual scrolling pattern. In other ways, it is like a virtual paging, since the most carousels have paging controls. The additional effect is to animate the scrolled content into view. Time-based. The carousels work well for time-based content. Flickr employs a carousel to let the users navigate back and forth through their photo collections. Animation direction. Inexplicably, amctators.com animates its carousel the opposite way. This leads to a confusing experience, and it is harder to know which control to click. Virtual panning. A great place for virtual panning is on a map. Google Maps allows you to plan in any direction by clicking the mouse down and dragging the mouse around. Next is the zoomable user interface. A zoomable user interface, ZUI, is another way to create a virtual canvas. Unlike panning or flickering through a flat, two-dimensional space, a ZUI allows the user to also zoom into events on the page. This freedom of motion in both 2D and 3D will support the concept of an infinite interface. Practically speaking, the zoomable user interface have rarely been available in everyday software applications, which is much less on the web. But with the more advanced features added to the flash and the advent of the Silverlight, this type of interface is starting to emerge and may be commonplace in the not too distant future. Paging versus scrolling. Leading web designers and the companies have taken different approaches to solving the same problems. Yahoo Mail chooses virtual scrolling. Gmail choose inline paging. How do you choose between the paging and scrolling? Well, there are no hard and fast rules. Here are some to consider when making the decisions. When the data feels more owned by the user, in the other words, the data is not transient, but sometimes users want to interact with in various ways. If they want to sort it, filter it, and so on, we'll be considering the virtual scrolling as in the Yahoo Mail. When the data is more transient as in the search results and will get a less than the less relevant, the further user goes on the data. Inline paging works well as with the iPhone. For transient data, if you don't care about jumping around the data to the specific sections, consider using the virtual scrolling as in the live image search. If you are concerned about the scalability and the performance, the paging is usually the best choice. Originally, Microsoft Live Web Search also provided a scroll bar. However, the scroll bar increased the server load considerably since users are more likely to scroll than the pitch. If the content is really continuous, scrolling is more natural than paging. If you get your revenue by the page impression, scrolling may not be an option for your business models. If paging causes action for the content to become cumbersome, move to the scrolling model. This is an issue in Gmail. The user can only operate on the current page. Changing items across the page boundaries is unexpected. Changing items in a continuous scroll list is intuitive. Process flow. The process flow Google Blogger. The popular site, the Google Blogger, generally makes it easy to create and publish the blogs. One thing it doesn't make easy, it is deleting comments that the others may leave on your blog. This is especially difficult when you're the victim of hundreds of the spam contents left by the nefarious companies hoping to increase their search ranking. Scroll to find the offending comment, click the trash icon to delete the comment. After page refreshes, click the remove forever checkbox, click the delete comment button. After page refreshes, click the link to return to my blog article. Repeat the steps 1 to 5 for each article with the spam comments. The magic principle. Alan Cooper discusses a wonderful technique for getting away from a technology-driven approach, and he'll be discovering the underlying mental model of the user. He calls it the magic principle. What if when trying to complete a task, the user could invoke some magic? For example, let's look at a problem of taking and sharing the photos. The process for this task breaks down like this. Take a picture with a digital camera. Sometimes later, upload the photos to the photo site like Flickr. This involves finding the cable, starting the iTunes, importing all the photos, using a second program such as a Flickr uploader to upload the photos to the Flickr, copying the link for a Flickr set, send the link in mail to appropriate friends. If some magic were invoked, here how it might happen. The camera would be an event aware. It would know that is your daughter's 8th birthday. When finished tracking the pictures of the event, the camera would upload the photos to the Flickr. Flickr would notify the family and the friends that the pictures of the birthday parties are available. Thinking alone, these lines get some of the artifacts out of the way. Of course, the magic could be taken to the extreme. Just eliminate the camera altogether. Process flow patterns. Interactive process page process, inline assistant process, configurator process, overlay process, static single page process. The first is the interactive single page process. Here the consumer products come in a variety of shapes, size, textures, colors, etc. The online shoppers will not only have to decide that they want shoes, but do they want blue shoes? And what size and width? In the end of the selection by the available inventory. As the user makes the decision, he will be set the choice gets more and more limited. This type of product selection is typically handled with the multi-page overflow. On one page, the user selects a shirt and its color and the size. After submitting the choice, a new page is displayed. Only when the user arrives at the second page, does he find out that the true navy shirt is not available in the medium size. The Gap will accomplish this kind of product selection in a single page using the interactive single page process. Benefits. Adobe calls out the Bromore one-page reservation interface in its Adobe Showcase. So it reduces the entire reservation process to a single screen. Reduces number of screens in an online reservation from 5 to 1. Other online reservation applications, that is 75% of user chosen one screen in pair of HTML version, allows users to vary the purchase parameters at will and immediately view results. Reduce the times it takes to make a reservation from at least 3 minutes to less than 1. Inline assistant process. The Gap employed an inline assistant process pattern for its shopping cart. Dialog. To encapsulate a multi-step flow inside a dialog. Configurator process. The process flow is meant to invite delight. In these cases, it is an engagement factor that becomes more important. This is true with various configurator processes on the web. We can see this especially at plays with the car configurators, which provides a configurator that will allow users to build their own proxy. Static single page process. Put a complete flow on one page in a static single. The user sees all the tasks needed to complete the full process. This can be both good and bad. In other words, if placing all the tasks on a single page is enough to cause the user to boil out, it is not a good idea.